Vishachiputram atra surupam rupam tasagrajamuri purim maturim goshtuatim radhakundamagirivaram ahuradikamarvasam rakto yasya pratitakapaya Sri Guru Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaye Kadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Hemapatibhyaschavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapranaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namah Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namah Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namah Bhaktya Vinda Aparada Dakshay Yudhashta Kamare Toram Kamati Kripa Mahitam Sharanam Ravanam Vinde Namaste Dharanarabindam Vinde Namaste Dharanarabindam Govinda Damo Dharamaraveti Govinda Damo Dharamaraveti Govinda Damo Dharamaraveti Govinda Damo Dharamaraveti Hey Krishna Hey Radha Hey Saketi Govinda Damo Dharamaraveti Sham Sundar Shikanda Sekar Smaraha Sumurli Manora Radhikar Sukamuma Kripanidhi Supriya Charna Kinkurim Kuru Tavai Vasmi Na Jivami Tvayavana Iti Vigyaya Devi Tam Nama Charantikam First of all, I offer my Sastang Dandavat Puspanjali, my heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times, with the lotus feet of my holy master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmadev Paramaradatum Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad, Ashtotara Satasisimat, Rupanuga Acharya Varya, Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Prabhupada. And finally, I offer my pranam to all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavas. Svanchakalpatarubhasya.
Vasakripasindarev Chapatitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
So sweet afternoon.
Separation. So, by the causes mercy of Sri Guru and the Gauranga, yesterday we began to discuss how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his achar, by his behavior, and by his vichar, by his teachings, he was distributing the nectar of bhakti to all the living beings in this world. And especially, he described that 5 Angas of bhakti are extremely powerful, inconceivably powerful. They can cause love to appear in your heart in a moment. If, and only if, we are not critical of others, critical or hypocritical, and we are offenseless, then these Angas of bhakti at once, they will give Krishna Prem. What are they? Sadhu Sangha Nama Kirtan Bhagavat Srava Mathura Vasa Srimutira Swadaya Sevan. So yesterday we described Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching and life example in regard to the importance of Sadhu Sangha. We described Svabhavastu Pravartate, how everyone in this world, though they feel themselves to be very free and independent, but at every moment they're under the control of the Svabhav. That means the impressions of this life and previous life's activities in their subconscious mind. Our subconscious mind, Chitta, is a dense mass of many experiences of sense gratification and various worldly activities from this life and previous life. And those impressions come into our conscious mind in the form of vasana, desires. And we follow them. We are thinking that I want this, I want that, but this is nothing to do with Atma. Nothing at all. Only this is the flow of karma going on. You see? So each and every person is under the control of their purva sanskar, previous impressions. Now, when we come into sadhu sangha, then something very special happens. If we have the chance to see a sadhu, to serve a sadhu, to hear from a sadhu, by their kripa, they put into our chitta vishesha sanskar, intense impressions related to Krishna bhakti. So when, by the association, by sadhu sangha, these deep impressions are made in our chitta, in our subconscious mind, now we are no longer under the control of the karma vasana, desires to do karma, we become under the control of the desire to do bhakti to Krishna. So, that Vishesh Sanskar, deep impression in the heart that we acquire by the mercy of the association with the pure sadhu, that is Krishna Seva Vasana, the desire to serve Krishna, that is Bhakti Lata Bij. That is the seed of devotion. If we'll put some water on that every day, by chanting, hearing and remembering, it will grow and gradually it will take us to Goloka Vrindavan. And there we can taste the Prema Fal, the fruit of Krishna Prem. So yesterday we discussed this topic, the powerful effect of Sadhu Sangha. How the Sadhu Sangha removes our Bahirmukata, our indifference to Krishna. Everyone in this world, their face is turned away from Krishna. And they cannot turn their attention towards Krishna. Even they can chant Hare Krishna, but their attention is going somewhere else. Did you ever have that experience?
Yes.
So even someone chanting and doing service outwardly, but still the attention is going somewhere else. That is called Bahir Mukata. So we should never be satisfied only putting on tilak and dressing like a devotee or anything. The question is, as our Bahir Mukata, our indifference, our attention, is it remaining away from Krishna, or is it spontaneously and naturally going to his lotus feet? That natural spontaneous attraction towards the lotus feet, it will only come by sadhu sangha.
Sorry.
Must always as far as possible, as much as we can, try to seek out very high class Braj Rasik Tattva Gyan Vaishnav Sangha. Very important. So this topic we discussed yesterday, and yesterday also discussed the importance of the chanting of the holy name. So today we're coming to the subject of Bhagavad Sravan Mathuravas, Srimati Rishabhya Seva, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and residing in the holy dham and serving the deities with faith. So, before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srimad Bhagavatam, it was already famous. It's called Bhagavad Purana, it's one of the Puranas. And I tell you actually, even today, in other sampradayas, those who are not the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they honor Srimad Bhagavatam, but for them, Srimad Bhagavatam is just one of 18 Puranas. There are so many Puranas and Bhagavatam is one of them. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came with a special teaching. No. Srimad Bhagavatam is the extraordinary, very, very extraordinary. How is that? Krishna Tulya Bhagavata Vibhusavasrai Pratishloke Prati Akhare Nana Artakai. Just as Krishna is the shelter of all existence, he can give shelter to the entirety of existence. So in the same way, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the shelter of all existence. As Krishna is Vibhu, unlimited, in the same way Srimad Bhagavatam is unlimited. Why? Because this Paramamangal, supremely auspicious Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna's Vanmaya Murti. Vanmaya Murti, Krishna has incarnated in the form of the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, as Krishna is unlimited, so Pratyakkhare and Shloke Pratyakkhare Nana Hartakai, every verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahaprabhu said, no, every letter of Srimad Bhagavatam has many, many profound meanings. Like an ocean, you cannot come to the end of it. So, Mahaprabhu taught, Krishna Bhakti Rasa Swarup Sri Bhagavata Sarva Veda Shastra Vaite Parama Mahatva. Srimad Bhagavatam is the embodiment of Bhakti Rasa Swarup. Therefore, of all the Vedic scriptures, it is supermost. There is no comparison with Srimad Bhagavatam. So we see in the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu how he was relishing this Srimad Bhagavatam. He went to South India, met with Ramananda Rai, and Ramananda Rai was teaching Mahaprabhu the meaning, deep meaning of the rasa in Srimad Bhagavatam. And later, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he taught that to Rupa Goswami. You know, Rupa Goswami has written so many famous texts, especially Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, the nectar of devotion, and that describes in a general way all 5 rasas. But Madhurya Rasa, the love of Braja Gopis, is something so extraordinary, so vast. He wrote not really a second book, but the supplement, the next part of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, that is called Ujjwal Nilamani. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu means ocean of the Amrita, the nectar of Bhakti Rasa. So the ocean is also called Ratnakar, that jewels appear in the ocean. So in the depth, in the deepest part of that ocean, a jewel appeared, that is Ujjwala Nilamani, the blazing sapphire. Nilamani, the blazing sapphire of Ujjwal. Here Ujjwal means blazing, but Ujjwal means Ujjwala Rasa. That is the Parikya, Bhava of Gopis of Vrindavan. So, Rupa Goswami has presented these books, but you should know that all of this has come, it is all given on the basis of Srimad Bhagavatam. All the teachings were there, but the common person was not able to extract them. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, realizing and tasting the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam, he empowered Srila Rupa Goswami to manifest all of these things. So, in Chaitanya Charitamrita it said, Krishna Tattva Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva Pranta, Sabashi Kaila Prabhu, Bhagavat Siddhanta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught Rupa Goswami Krishna Tattva, Bhakti Tattva, Rasa Tattva, and all the things he taught to Rupa Goswami. This was Bhagavat Siddhanta. It's all coming ultimately from Srimad Bhagavatam. And where did Mahaprabhu learn it? Ramananda Poshi Jata Siddhanta Shunila Rupe Kripa Kore Prabhu Sabha Sancharila. Whatever Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had learned from Ramananda Roy, that's what he gave to Srila Rupa Goswami Pad. So, Srinath Chakravarti, he has written a commentary on the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and there he said, Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesha Tanayastadhama Brindavanam Ramyaka Chidupasna Brajabudu Bhagena Yakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Premopumato Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matapinam Tatradara Napara. He said that this is the mata, the opinion of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for which I have the utmost respect. What is that? Aradhya Bhagavan Brajesha Tanaya. That the worshipable personality is Bhagavan. He is supremely worshipable. So, Bhagavan has many forms, but among all the forms, the supremely worshipable form of Bhagavan is Brajendra Tanaya. That boy who thinks, I'm the son of Nanda Baba. The king of Braja, of the Gops of Braja, his son, that is the supreme reality. Tadama Vrindavanam, and as Krishna is worshipable, all Vrindavan is worshipable. Because actually it's not different from him. It is the Vaibhav. All the associates of Krishna and their Vrindavan, their Dham is the Vaibhav of Krishna. That is the one indivisible absolute reality. So, if Krishna and his Vrindavan are most worshipable, then what's the best way to worship them? Ramya Kachit Upasna Brajabudu Bhagena Yakalpita. The best way to serve Krishna is that method that was expressed by the gopis of Vrindavan. They left everything. Patisutanvaya Bhraktabandhavan Ativalangite Achitagata. Oh Krishna, we left our family members, our husbands, children, brothers, and all relatives just to surrender at your lotus feet and just to please you. But you, in the middle of the night, have abandoned us. So, Kitava Yosita Kastaden Nishi, what kind of cheetah are you? You know? Even among cheetahs, you are very unusual. Because when a cheetah cheats someone, they cheat the other person for their own benefit. But Krishna is such a cheetah, he played his flute, bewildered all the gopis of Vrindavan, made them become mad and forget everything, and made them leave their homes and run to the forest at night. But then when they arrived there, he also abandoned them. He began to dance and then he disappeared himself. So what, Krishna, what kind of cheetah are you? Even you get no benefit from your cheating. So gopis, they lovingly, with a loving pranay rosh, loving anger, they can chastise Krishna. Priya yadiman kare kare vatsan vedastuti hoiti hari se moraman. Krishna said, when my beloved gopis are upset with me and they abuse me with harsh words, at that time, even though Brahma, Shiva and so many devatas are offering prayers of the Vedas, then I cannot listen to those Vedic prayers. The criticism of my beautiful girlfriends, gopis of Vrindavan, steals away my mind, and I forget all the prayers of the demigods, and I become absorbed in that. So, the best method, which is most pleasing to Krishna, is how Braj gopis love and serve Krishna. And how will you learn? How will you learn about that? Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the completely immaculate Praman, perfect evidence, which is expressing the love of Braj gopis for Sri Krishna. Prema Pumato Mahan. And their love, that is the highest, that is a Param Purushartha, the highest goal of life. Not dharma, religiosity, not artha, economic development. Everyone wants to get some money and develop their bank balance and everything. This is not the goal of life. Not calm, fulfilling your worldly desires, and not even moksha, liberation. But the fifth, Panchama Purushartha, Param Purushartha, the highest goal of life, even the Prayojan, the goal of life, the Prayojan, is not Krishna. The Prayojan is not Radha. The Prayojan is not even Radha and Krishna. The Prayojan is Prem. That's why Gurudev gave me this name, Prem Prayojan, so I don't forget. Prem, love is the goal of life. Krishna Ranachaya Prem, Bhakti Ranachaya, Apani Nachaya, Tina Nachaya Kataya. Srila Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Pad said, Prem makes Krishna dance, Prem makes the devotee dance, and Prem is like a third mystical thing. Also dancing, and the three of them, they dance together. So even Krishna is a Prem Adhin, under the control of Prem. So that is the goal of our life. And we learn about that where? From Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is no comparison to Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, daily when he was in Jagannath Puri, he used to go to the Yameshwara Tot. And there was the temple of Gopinath, Tota Gopinath. And Gadada Pandit was serving there. Radharani herself incarnated in this world as Gadada Pandit. And Krishna used to go every day to learn from Gadada Pandit about Krishna Prem. And how did they do that? Gadada Pandit would sit and give Bhagavatam class. So even Krishna himself, when he comes to this world and he's learning about love from Radharani, then what is the syllabus? What is the curriculum? Srimad Bhagavatam. So how extraordinary is this Srimad Bhagavatam? Then, Mathura Vas. Mahaprabhu taught, very powerful and important, is living in the holy Dham. What is the holy Dham? I encounter a certain attitude among devotees quite often, especially in the West. They have a mood, Krishna is everywhere. So what's the need to go to Vrindavan? You can attain love for Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, and you can chant Hare Krishna anywhere. So what's the speciality? Why need go to Vrindavan? So sometimes devotees have this. But no Acharya ever had such a mood. Never. Never happened. Among the 9 symptoms of bhav, Pritistadva Satistale, one of the symptoms when not love, just before the love appears, the stage of bhav, then the devotee has great affection for those places where Krishna performed his lila. So, the Dham is not an ordinary place. Chintamani bhumi kalpa vrikshamayaman charma chakshe dekitara prapanche rasam. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vrindavan is the Chintamani Bhumi. Every dust of Vrindavan is a priceless, unlimitedly powerful Chintamani jewel, wish-fulfilling jewel. Every dust. Kalpa Vriksha Ban. All the trees in the forest of Braja, they are Kalpa Vriksha. They can fulfill all spiritual desires. But Charma Chakshe Dekhi Tara Prapanche Rasam, when you go and you look at that place with your eyeballs made of meat, Charma Chakshe Dekhi Tara, with these meatballs here you have, when you try to look at Vrindavan with this, then Prapanche Rasam, you see, oh, it's like the Prapanch, just like a regular place made of the 5 elements, earth, water, fire and air, ether. This is a mistake. This is a mistake. Prema netri dekitaro swarupa prakash Gopa gopi sangetyaha Krishna ravilas. Mahaprabhu said, if you go to Vrindavan and you look with the prema netra, the eyes of love, there you will see that even today And Krishna, Radha Krishna, the Gopas, cowherd boys and gopis, they're doing their vilas, they're playing there in Vrindavan, even today, eternally. That is uppercut. There are three aspects of the Dham. One is, when Krishna comes to this world and does his Leela here, that's called Prakat Prakash. If anyone is present at that time, they can see his Leela is going on. And when his Leela, he brings his Leela to a close, after 125 years, in this world Krishna finishes his Leela, but he finishes his Leela in Vrindavan earlier. After killing Dantavakra, he came from Dwarka, he killed Shalva in Dwarka. Then he came to Mathura, because Dantavakra was coming there to fight with him. He killed Dantavakra and his younger brother Viduratha. And then after that, Krishna, that's it, he put down his weapons, no more fighting. You see, after killing Viduratha, that's it. Krishna never takes up a weapon ever again. Even in the battle of Kurukshetra, he's not fighting, no weapons, he's driving the chariot.
Broken wheel. One time with a wheel broken.
That was to special love for Bhishma then. But he did not kill anyone that time. So after killing Viduratha, that's it, no more demon killing for me. And Krishna heard that the Brijbasis were just from Mathura. On the other side, there's a forest there called Lohavan, and there's a village there called Rai. And he heard that the Brijbasis were staying there because the Brijbasis knew that Krishna had gone to Indraprastha for the Rajasuya Yagya of Yudhishthira Maharaj, and going from Indraprastha back to Dwarka, he'd have to go on the road which goes through that place, Lohavan. So all Brijbasis, they were feeling separation from Krishna for so many years. So they got their bullock carts and their tents, and they left Nandagaon, they left Varsana, and they came to that road through Lohavan, and they camped on both sides of the road. And they were thinking, oh, how Krishna will come riding past on a chariot, at least you can see his lotus face for a moment and wave to him while he goes past. We're not going to interfere. We will not force ourselves on. If he's happy there, we only want that Krishna should be happy. So all Brijbasis, they were camping on both sides of the road and they were waiting for Krishna. So when Krishna was in Mathura after killing Viduratha, he gave up his weapons. Then he heard about they were there. So then he decided, let me go. And on his chariot he came. And he was again united with the residents of Vrindavan. He said, why are you all staying here? Why are you not staying in Nandagaon? Nanda Maharaj said, we heard that you would be coming by here on your way to Dwarka. Krishna said, oh Baba, don't be in anxiety. I'm never going to leave you. I'll not leave you again. I'm staying here. And Krishna stayed there. He played with the Brijbasis for 2 months. And then it was time for him to go back to Dwarka, but he didn't. He expanded himself. And he told Brijbasis, come with me, let's go back to Nandagaon. And they got on his chariot, expanded. It's very mystical. They all got on his chariot. And they went to cross the Jamuna. And the moment they entered in Jamuna, all Brijbasis, they blinked. And when their eyes went down, then when they opened their eyes, the Krishna and all the Brijbasis, they became aprakat. That means that in this world no one could see them anymore. They didn't know what happened. They're just Leela's just going on. But if ordinary person, conditioned soul, happened to be there, they would have said, oh, why did Krishna and all Brijbasis go? So in one form, Krishna's Leela, from the Prakat Leela that is visible in it, became aprakat. So, and in another form, Krishna expanded himself, got on a chariot, he went back, and he continued all the Dwarka Leela and the Mahabharat Yuddha, spoke Bhagavad Gita, and so many pastimes this went on. Putbraj Leela was already, he wound that up early. So, we're speaking about the Mathura Vas, staying in the Holy Dham. So the Holy Dham as Prakat Prakash, which is visible when Krishna is here, Aprakat Prakash, when all Brijbasis blink, then it becomes invisible to the rest of the world, but the Leela is still going on. Only the conditioned souls cannot see it until they develop Krishna Prem. And then the other aspect of the Dham is called the Drishyaman Prakash. That's what, if you go to Vrindavan today and you see the drains and the rickshaws and pigs and big buildings and cars everywhere like this, you look at this is called Drishyaman. The Dham as it is visible to your eyes at the moment. So, yet still, even though you may see this externally, but the Dham remains there and powerful and can give mercy to the devotees who worship the Dham. So Srila Jiva Goswami gives a nice example. Anyone here worship Shalagram Shila? Anyone? No? So, you know Shalagram Shila? Yeah. So, a deity of Krishna, Vigraha, this is Krishna's Swarup. 2 hands, standing Tribanga, Shamam Tribanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham. So that is Krishna's Swarup. But Shalagram Shila looks like a globajaman. Right? So Jiva Goswami says the Shalagram Shila is not Krishna's Swarup. Because Krishna has no globajaman incarnation. Right? No one ever said, Keshavadrita globajaman rupa jai jagadishari. Krishna has no lila as this little ball. Then why are we worshipping Shalagram Shila? He said, Shalagram Shila is called Bhagavad Aka Adhisthanam. The Shalagram Shila is the place where you worship that Shalagram Shila and Krishna's Swarup will manifest to you.
Gopal. Babata.
So, therefore, the Shalagram Shila is very holy. It is said that wherever there is a Shalagram Shila, then for 7 miles all around becomes purified. And if you worship the Shalagram Shila, then you can realize in your heart how Krishna's form manifests there because it's Bhagavad Akar. Bhagavad Akar means the form of God. Adhisthan, the place where the form of God manifests to you when you worship. So, now we understand Shalagram Shila. Now let's think about Vrindavan Dham. Srila Jiva Goswami Pad, he said, Vrindavan Dham is the Maha Bhagavadaka Adhisthan. It is the great place of Krishna's manifestation. So, just as you have such respect for a Shalagram Shila, if you are in Vrindavan, oh, this is not less than being inside a huge Shalagram Shila. That's this. You should see like that. It's so holy, so transcendental, and anywhere you do puja, you worship, you hear and chant and remember, Krishna may manifest in that Vrindavan Dham. So this is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's teaching. Even Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, he said, if there is a holy place and it's full of sadhus and they're hearing Srimad Bhagavatam every day and they're weeping, but still I'll never go there if it's outside of Vrindavan. I rather stay in Vrindavan and talk Prajalpa with the villagers than go there. This is his attachment to Krishna's Dham. So if you serve the Dham, you stay in the Dham, Aho Madhupuri Dhanya Vaikuntatscha Gariyase Dinamekam Nivasena Haro Bhakti Prajayate. It is said, oh, Vrindavan is superior to Vaikuntha. If you can stay there only one night, you will get Bhakti to Krishna. So the Dham is very, very powerful. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu not only taught this by his words, but in his life also. You see that when he was staying in Jagannath Puri, from Jagannath Puri, on foot, he walked almost 2,000 kilometers, all the way from Puri to Vrindavan, to set the example. And what beautiful, astonishing Leela Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done there in Vrindavan. So I want to speak a little about how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam and also revealed the glories of Mathuravas, the holy Dham. Because these two are very connected. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam is the Praman about the glories of the holy Dham. As you know, in Srimad Bhagavatam, Shukadev Goswami is called Badarayani. So at the beginning of the chapters, then you find it. Badarayani Uvacha. Badarayani speaking. So, Badarayan means Vyasadeva. Badarayani is his son. So why is he called Badarayani? Why is it mentioned Shukadev Goswami is the son of Vyasadeva? Vyasadeva is called Badarayan because he was doing his bhajan, his tapasya in Badrikashram, in the Himalayas. And that place called Badrikashram because it's high in the mountains, hardly anything is growing there, but there are some trees called Badri trees. And they have some small berries. Have you been there to Badrikashram? Yeah. So also in Braj there's a place called Adi Badri, and the Badri trees grow there also. And they have small berries, and Vyasadeva was just living on these berries, very, very austere. And he was doing intense tapasya and devotion to Krishna. So, the best fruit, the best fowl of all the tapasya and all the devotion of Vyasadeva was that he had a son named Shukadev Goswami. Shukadev Goswami is the sign of Krishna's kindness and Krishna's complete mercy on Vyasadeva, that he had this son. Shukadev Goswami was Param Rasik. Nigamakalpataro kalitam palam Shukamukadamrita dravasamyutam Pipatu bhagavatam rasamalayam Muravo rasika bhuvibhavukaha. This Srimad Bhagavatam has become more sweet being touched by the lips of Shukadev Goswami. So, Shukadev Goswami, being very rasik, he describes how this love of Braj Gopis is growing, how it's developing. Beginning with when they are young girls, they see Krishna, they fall in love with him, but they don't have a chance to meet with him and talk with him. But from a distance they're watching him coming and going in the morning when he leaves the village. And they hear the sound of his flute and they become completely charmed. So Shukadev Goswami described in Venu Geet, the Purva Rag, that means the love of gopis for Krishna before they had the chance to meet with him, very intimately. Gopya kima charadayam kushulam svaveno damodarad sudam api gopikanam bhungte swayam yadavashistara samhradinyo rishabtacho srumumakuscharavo yataryaha. In the daytime, Krishna has gone out into the forest to take the cows to graze, and the gopis, they're kept like prisoners in their mother-in-law's house. They have to do their household chores there. But in the distance they can hear the sound of Sri Krishna's flute. And they hearing the sound of his flute, ooh, ooh, they think that the flute is abusing and criticizing them. The flute is saying, hey gopis, I am kissing Krishna. I am drinking all the nectar lips for myself. What are you doing? Staying there in the house. Your life is useless. So hearing the sound of the flute, one gopi is telling her Saki, Gopyaki machadayam kushalam sabeno. What austerities did this flute do in a previous life to always be with Krishna? Sometimes in his hand, sometimes in his belt, sometimes in his turban. At night when he goes to bed, he keeps the flute under his pillow. This flute always stays with Krishna, and every day Krishna is kissing his flute. So I don't know. If I knew what austerities he did, what mantras he chanted, which holy places he went to, when he was fasting, I would do all of those things, so in my next life I could become like that flute. Gopis feel like this. This is one of the symptoms of anurag. There are different levels of Prem, Sneha, Man, Pranaya, Rag, Anurag. So one of the symptoms of Anurag is Aprani Nyapya Janma Lalasa. Being very greedy to take birth as something which is not even, doesn't even have a pran, not even a life. A dry piece of bamboo in this case. If it gives me a chance to be close to Krishna. Can you imagine? What a love that is, that your mind becomes obsessed. I want to become a piece of bamboo. I mean, they're actually thinking like that. This is anurag of Praja Gopis. So they become jealous. Radharani said, Damodaradhara Sudam Api Gopikanam. This flute is born in the family of trees. And Krishna is born in a family of gopis. And we gopis are also born in a family of gopis. So we should be with him, not this bamboo. Damodaradhara Sudam Api Gopikanam. That means the nectar of Krishna's lips should belong to us, not to him. And especially this flute, he's a newcomer, he just came along. But we know Krishna Damodaradhara Sudam since he was Damodar. Since he was a little baby smashing the pots and his mother tied him up and he was Damodar, we know Krishna since he was a baby. And now this newcomer has come along, this flute, and always staying with him. And gopis have irsha, jealousy. Jealousy to the flute. They're thinking, what is this? Venu is masculine. And Krishna is masculine. So masculine should not drink the lips of masculine. Otherwise, in another bark, they become very jealous. Because sometimes when the lovers meet, then the female plays the role of the male. They change roles with each other. So then they think, oh, this flute, maybe it's feminine, but having a very loving pastime, playing the male role in relation with Krishna, like this. So they feel so much jealousy. Bhungte swayam yadavasisya rasam radinyo. This flute is drinking all the nectar of Krishna's lips and not leaving any remnant, not one drop for us. That means that this flute must be very greedy. If there's a prasad here, but while we're talking, if someone goes in the kitchen, eats everything, and doesn't leave even one drop of prasad, and then what do you think? So gopis are greedy to taste the nectar of Krishna's lips, but they're projecting onto the flute. This is the nature. Everything gopis say, they speak about other things, but actually it's really about themselves. Because sarva bhutesu yapaset bhagavad bhavam atmana, it's the nature of those who have prem, that they see their own love in everybody else. So what love gopis have, they think the trees have, the flutes have, the birds have. But they themselves feel, I have no love. So, bhungte swayam yadavashista. This flute is so greedy, drinking, will not leave even one drop for us. Bhungte swayam. Here swayam means himself, the flute. But swayam also means the swatantra, independent. So Radharani is saying this is very bad. Why is the flute drinking the nectar of Krishna's lips independently? This is not correct. Why? Because Braj Gopis, they are in groups, and each group has one leader. Radhika is leader of her group, Chandravali is leader of her group, Shamala is leader of her group, like this. So, the other gopis in the group, the Sakhis of the leader, they always arrange for the leader of the group to meet with Krishna. But they never try themselves to meet with Krishna, swatantra, independently. Unless the group leader herself will arrange, oh, my Sakhi, you go and meet with Krishna. Then they may accept. Otherwise, to meet with Krishna independently of the heroine, this is quite wrong. Then you become a traitor, Vishvashkati. A traitor. So this can never happen in Goloka Vrindavan. It will be rasabhas, doesn't it? Yeah. So Radharani is saying, just see, Bhungte swayam yadavashi. This flute never took permission from any group leader and is going and enjoying with Krishna. It's very terrible. Yes. So it's just jealous. So jealous. Taravo yataryaha. And not only that, but you know, if you have a son, if you have a child, and your child goes to university and becomes very successful, then all the parents, all the family members, they become very proud. They become very happy. Oh, look, my son has graduated. Oh, my son has got now a doctorate. And they become very proud. So gopis are thinking, the mother of the bamboo is the Jamuna river. Because just as mother feeds you with breast milk, so Jamuna river was giving water so the bamboo could grow. And the forefathers of this are the other trees on the bank of Jamuna, because he's coming from the dynasty of trees. So when Krishna plays his flute, then the trees, the honey is dripping from the honeycombs, from the beehives in the branches. That means the trees are crying in ecstasy. Just see how our relative his life is so successful, always kissing Krishna. And the rivers, they become happy. Why? When Krishna plays his flute, the lotus flowers in the river open. And gopis are saying, look, see, all the relatives of this flute, they're all celebrating. They're very proud. Otherwise, they see another mood. They see the mood that the trees are like sakas of Krishna, Priyanama sakas. So Priyanama sakas, Madhu Mangal, Subal, Ujjwal, they also know about Krishna's loving pastimes with gopis, and they try to arrange for that. And the rivers, they're like sakis. So just as when Krishna's Priyanama sakas and Radhika's sakis arrange for Radha Krishna to meet and they become happy, then in the same way she's thinking, oh, these trees and these rivers, they're like Priyanama sakas and sakis of this flute, and so they're all, trees are crying and the flowers are blossoming in the river. Or another mood. Not each verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahaprabhu saying, Prati Sloke, Prati Akriti, Nana Artakai, many, many meanings, waves of, if you read, look at the words on the page, they seem to be static, they're not moving. But actually they're not static, they're ecstatic. And if someone who read and recite Srimad Bhagavatam with bhav, then they'll feel waves in each verse, waves of many emotions. So then another emotion comes, Yatharya, means the elderly persons, the parents and others. So Radharani is thinking, Krishna is so beautiful, so attractive when he plays on his flute, that the elderly persons, like my mother-in-law, Jatila, then they're cursing themselves. They're thinking, why am I so old? Why was I born so many years ago? If I was born just now, then I would... But alas, my face is wrinkly and my body is hanging down. And so, Yatharya, the trees, they are like, the old ladies and mother-in-laws of Braj, criticizing themselves, I am too old to meet with Krishna, alas. So, Radharani and the Braja Gopis, they're speaking in this way, having so many thoughts, so many loving feelings for Krishna. How do we know about this? Srimad Bhagavatam. Everything is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. And this is their love before they had the chance to meet with Krishna. Finally, they could not tolerate any longer the flute criticizing them. Ha ha ha. Staying in your homes, your life is wasted. They could not tolerate. So one night when Krishna played his flute, they became mad and they left everything and they ran into the forest and they arrived at the Bansi Bhat. Krishna was standing there, and when they arrived, then they stopped and they looked down and they thought Krishna should say something because he called us, so he should say why he called us. And Krishna thought, no, Gopi should, I'll make them speak first. And they were waiting. So finally Krishna thought gopis are so stubborn, they're not going to speak, so I'll say something. Swagatam va mahabhaga priyam kim karvani va bhutasya. Hey, gopis, welcome to the forest of Vrindavan. Why did you come here? Is there some problem in your home? Is that why you came here? Bhardasanam kachit bhrutagamana karvam. Tell me why you came. So Krishna, he knew exactly why they came and he himself called them. But he wanted to tease them because he's very rasic. See how they will respond. Because this is very heartbreaking. They left everything for him and now he's saying, what are you doing here? Perhaps you should go home. Because prem is such a thing, love is such a thing that sarvata dvangsa rahita satyapi dvangsa karne yad bhava bandhana yuna yad bhava bandhana yuna sa prema parikirtita. Love means that all the causes for the relationship to be broken are present. But that love is never broken. So Krishna was testing. He ruined their life, he made them leave home in the middle of the night, and then when they came, he told them to go back. Because he wanted to see how, he wanted to taste how, even though I am very cruel to them, but their love does not go down. So then the gopis, they said to Krishna, Maivam vibhohati bhavan gaditam risangsam Sanchaja sarva vishayantava padamulam Bhakta bhajasya durvagrama jasram Devo yatari purusho bhajate mumukshu Yat pat pat suridam anubriti ranga Strinam swadharma iti dhamma vidata yuktam Astaiva meitadupadesha padaitvaishe Presto bhavans tanubritam kilo bandhur atma. Chapter 29, Srimad Bhagavatam. Gopi said, how can you speak such heartbreaking, cruel words to us when we gave up all Vishay, all sense gratification to come to your lotus feet? This is very important. That means, not like nowadays, boys and girls meet together, what? For sense gratification. Gopi said, no. We have left all sense gratification. We have not come here to enjoy you. We have come here to please you only. Not for our happiness at all. Bhaktapadasam, Duravagrama. We heard that Gargacharya, we heard from Purnamasi that the Gargacharya said, Tasmandam Datmajo Yamte Narayana Samoganai. You have all qualities like Lord Narayan. So Lord Narayan, if anyone worships him, then he reciprocates with them. So if really you have qualities like Lord Narayan, then you should reciprocate with us. Devo yatari purusho bhajate mumukshu. Even mumukshu, that means persons who worship God to get mukti, liberation, then he reciprocates with them. He says, okay, you want to go in the Brahmajyoti? Okay, go in the Brahmajyoti. Oh, then gone in Brahmajyoti. Krishna even gives impersonal liberation to those who worship him if they want that. But what does Krishna get from that? Nothing. Krishna gets nothing. If someone goes in Brahmajyoti, what seva will they do? Mukti, moksha, nirvana. No, Krishna gets that. So gopis are saying to him that Lord Narayan even gives the liberation to those who worship him if they want it, and he stands to gain nothing from this. So how much more, if you have qualities like Narayan, you should reciprocate and accept us. Accept us so that you gain so much. Because we gopis, we're all very young and beautiful. We can please you so much. And if you don't accept us, afterwards, later in life, you'll be regretting, like, oh my God, why did I do that? Why did I send them home? So gopis, they criticize him in this way. They say, oh Krishna, yat patta patta suridam manubrita anga. You told us that it is the strinam swadharma. It is the dharma of a woman to serve her husband. But we have this question for you, Krishna. That when a husband dies, then what is the duty? Duty is to set fire to his mouth. Right? Then you make the funeral pyre, and the eldest son has to come and light in the mouth and finished. So, that means that serving the body of the husband is actually not dharma. What is dharma? The wife is serving her husband because Paramatma is there. This is dharma. There's no such dharma of serving the body of the husband. This is not dharma, that's bogus. Dharma means wife is serving husband with a meditation. Paramatma is in his heart, I am serving God. Like this is why, even if the husband, he doesn't have good character or whatever, he's ugly or sick or poor or whatever it is, doesn't matter. But she is chaste and dedicated to him, then she becomes very powerful. And all the devatas want to come and give blessing to that Patibrata Sati, that chaste lady. Right? That is Dharma. Right? So gopis are saying that actually the real service is the service to Paramatma in the heart. So we have heard Narayana Samoguna, you have all qualities of that Narayan. So no need to go home and serve the bodies, you are right here, will serve you. So actually gopis, they don't believe that Krishna is God. But the way they're speaking, this is called Yachaka Vritti. Many people hear these verses of gopis and they think, oh, the gopis are saying Krishna is God, they believe Krishna is God. If you think like this, then your bhakti will be spoiled. Because any Brijbasi, no Brijbasi ever thinks that Krishna is God. If you think that Krishna is God, you cannot be a Brijbasi. You know, Lord Brahma came to Braj, but he knew that Krishna is God, he had to go. Indra came to Braj, he knew that Krishna is God, he had to go. Uddhav came to Braj, he knew that Krishna is God, he had to go. Akrura came to Braj, he knew that he had to go. He took Krishna with him, but Krishna later came back. The thing is, the speciality of the residents of Vrindavan is, Krishna my Lala, he's my child, he's my best friend, he's my beloved, my sweetheart, Pranavallabha. This is the speciality of Brijvasis. So why are gopis saying, no, we heard you are like Lord Narayan? This is called Yachak Vritti. That is the occupation of a beggar. A beggar is sitting and sees a man walking by. Then he takes his begging bowl. He says, oh, your majesty, you are so handsome and wealthy. Can you give me a donation? He knows this person is not your majesty. And even the person may be not so handsome or well, but he's saying anything just to get something from him. So in the same way, because gopis are so desperate that Krishna should not send them home and should accept them, not for themselves but for his happiness, so gopis are saying any argument that comes in their mind to try to persuade him. This is called pranay deeds. Because gopis, they know in his heart he wants to meet us, otherwise he would not have called us. So if he's telling us to go home, perhaps he's being shy. So because we have pranay, that means the love where my heart and your heart are one, my body, your body are one, my mind, my intelligence, my senses, and your body, mind, intelligence, senses, everything, they are one. There is confidence there. So gopis are speaking in such a way that Krishna will give up his shyness and fulfill his desires. But Krishna was joking. He was joking with them, so then he accepted them. So all these bhavs that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to distribute, they are all explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Krishna accepted them, Rasa Leela was going on. It was so beautiful. And then when Rasa Leela was over, at the end of one night, but Braj Gopis experienced that one night was like the night of Lord Brahma. 8,400,000,000 years. But because they feel so much joy in pleasing Krishna and serving Krishna, at the end of the night, it was like a flash of lightning. Just as at the time of separation, one moment seems like millions of years. But at the time of meeting, millions of years become like one moment because of their intense thirst to please Krishna. You know, if a person has an unquenchable thirst, if they drink 1 liter, 2 liters, 5 liters, they still feel like, I have not drunk one drop even. So Braj Gopis are like that. They serve Krishna for millions of years, and at the end of it, because their eagerness, their thirst to serve him is unquenchable, at the end they feel, oh, I did not even serve him for 1 second. And then they return to their homes. So we described how Radhika and Gopis, before meeting with Krishna, they felt separation in their homes. And now they're back in their homes and they feel separation. But these two separations, not the same. Not the same. Because the separation that occurs after meeting with Krishna in Rasa Leela, that is much higher. that is intolerable. And gopis begin to become to our daughters. So then comes in Srimad Bhagavatam, the Yugal Geet. Very beautiful. Baham bahukrit Bhamak pulo Valgit bhurad Apit venam Kumalanguli Astamagam Gopya hirayati Yatra mukunda Mahanidara kvachit Aganayanga Mahalayadayat Gandha tulasya Pranayino anu Charasya kadam se Prakshipam bhujam Agayat yatraha. Braja gopis are in their homes. And Radhika, she's sending her Sakhis. Go and look. Is Krishna coming back yet or not? And one Sakhi goes to the wall of the village, and there they have a big tower where someone can go up and look in the distance to see if anyone is coming or attacking the village. So then that gopi, and Radhika is selecting not any gopi but the tallest one. Because the tallest gopi, she can see the furthest one, she gets to the top of the tower.
Who is the tallest one? Lalita?
She would not send Lalita. So, because Lita is too important, the less, whose status is not so high. So then some taller gopis you send, and that gopi goes running, and up to the top of the tower looking to see what's going on, and then coming back and giving a report to Radhika. What is Krishna doing? Mahanitara kvachit aganayanga. Krishna is just outside Nandagaon at Terakadamba. And at Terakadamba he's climbing up the tree and he's playing his flute and calling in the evening time all the cows to come back. And Krishna, Krishna has a japamala. Manidara means Krishna's japamala is not tulsi, it's made of jewels. But it has 108 beads. Because Krishna has black cows, white cows, red cows and yellow cows. And each one of them has 25 subgroups. And then he has cows which are spotted, like spots of chandan, cows which have a head like a lion, singamukhi cows, mardangamukhi cows, cows who have a head like mardanga shaped head, like this. So there are 8 other groups. So 25 times 4 plus 8, 108 groups of cows. So Krishna, when he's bringing the cows back in the evening, then he has to make sure that all the groups are there. So he has a japamala with 108 beads and he's counting all the groups of cows, all the names of the groups of the cows. This is amazing. Yeah? In this world, so many people they're chanting, they have Mara chant Hare Krishna, but in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna is doing japa of the names of his cows. Yeah? Oh dear, so he's called Gopal. Krishna loves cows. Yeah? And he's there, he's counting them, and Mahanidara kochit aganayanga Mahalayadayat gandha tulasya. He's wearing a garland of flowers, and the fragrance is coming of tulsi. And prakshipam bhujam agayata yatra. He's putting his hand on the shoulder of one of his friends, and then he's playing his flute. Oh, very nice. What's the meaning? The inner meaning is, that day, see Krishna, he was at Govardhan, and he was on the top of the hill and he looked in the distance and he saw from far away Radhika and her Sakhis were coming. And as they, very far away, Krishna thought, what can I do? And he called his friend Subal and others. And he saw a waterfall that was coming down Govardhan. He said, help me move these rocks. And Krishna and all his friends, they began to push and they moved the rocks and they blocked the flow of the waterfall, that it went in a different direction and then flowed right across the path where Radharani would be arriving very soon. So then Radharani was coming there with all her Sakhis, and then she came to so much water. She said, "Oh Sakhi, I came here many times, but today is different. How will I get across here?" And then they saw in the distance one boat was coming. And someone was in that boat, like this. The gopis called, "Oh Nakamala, boatman, come. And when the boat got near, Krishna said, "My boat is old and it has some holes, so I can only take you across one by one. So I want to start with this one here." Pointing to Radhika. So then one by one, Krishna took gopis in the boat and enjoyed the loving pastime secretly in the boat there as he was going across the water. So, Mahalaya Daita Gandha Tulasa, Krishna's wearing a garland. And the fragrance that emanates from the body of Radhika in her loving pastimes with Krishna is the fragrance of Tulsi. This is why Tulsi Vrindadevi is so dear to Krishna, because it reminds him of his loving pastimes with Radhika. So Krishna has just come back in the evening time. He's counting on his mala all his cows, and his fragrance of Radhika is on his garland, and he puts his hand on the shoulder of his friend, because it is, "My friends are so good, they help me move all the rocks. Without them I could not have these sweet pastimes." And so that day was successful. So now, next chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 36, is the killing of Aristasura. So what is the secret teaching here? The teaching is this, that at night time, Krishna was meeting every night and performing Rasa Leela with Braja Gopis. And in the day they were becoming mad. Sometimes they had a chance to meet him, perhaps in a boat or somewhere. But they were becoming so mad that, that when there's separation, in separation there's meeting, experience of meeting. And when love becomes very intense, at the time of meeting, then there's separation. That is called Prem Vaichitya. Gopis being with Krishna, but they begin to cry, "Oh Krishna, where are you, where are you?" That is Prem Vaichitya. So now gopis become so confused, because during the day when he's away, they have a sporty. It's as if they're meeting with Krishna when he's in the forest, in separation. And sometimes at night, when they meet with him, then they feel that he's very far away, and they lose track. Am I meeting with Krishna or not? And then they began to think, "Oh, maybe in my whole life, I never met with him. Perhaps even that night when I was going, I thought I was going to Rasa Leela. That was all the madness of my separation. It was all a sporty. And my whole life I never met with him." And they were becoming quite mad. And their parents and others were very worried. Rumors were going here and there. They were thinking, wondering about what's wrong with these gopis. Maybe it's something to do with Krishna. So then Krishna decided that it's not enough to do Rasa Leela every night, in the middle of the night. I should do Rasa Leela in the day, in the midday also. So after the Yuga Gita, next chapter is the killing of Aristasura. Why? Because the killing of Aristasura indicates something. When Krishna killed Aristasura, he went to meet Radharani. Radharani said, "Don't touch me." He said, "Why not?" She said, "You have done something very irreligious. You have killed a bull, and the bull represents Dharma." Krishna said, "Oh, listen. It was not a bull. It was a demon in the form of a bull. Radharani said, I don't care. Radharani also knows Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, look, when Indra killed Vritrasura, Vritrasura was a demon. But because he was the son of Twasta, so he was a Brahmin. So even though Indra killed a demon, but because he was a Brahmin, then he had to do austerities and prayasthita, atonement, to purify himself. So even though it was a demon, but because it was in the form of the bull, so you have to do prayasthita, atonement. Yeah, like this. So then Krishna, you cannot argue with Srimad Bhagavatam. So then he said, alright, what do you want me to do? So then Radharani, women are always very reasonable. So she said, you have to bathe in every holy place in the entire universe. So then Krishna, as you know, he manifested Shamakund and invited all the rivers to come there. And then afterwards, Radhika to compete with him. Because Krishna said, you gopis, you are not religious. In your whole life you never did anything so pious like me to make such a beautiful kund. So then gopis to compete with him, Radharani and her Sakhis, they made Radha Kund. And then all the holy rivers, they prayed to Radharani, please let us serve you. And then in between, they broke under the ground in between Shamakund and Radhakund, and they entered into Radhakund to serve Radhika. So, what does it mean? It means all the holy places, they are serving that Radhakund. That means that the pastimes of Radha Krishna at Govardhan, at Radhakund in the midday, they are the conclusion of all the scriptures. They are the highest possible spiritual destination that anyone can get. But people in general, they did not know about this. Even no one knew where was Radhakund. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that means Radha Krishna himself, Radha Krishna themselves in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on foot walked 2,000 kilometers from Jagannath Puri to come to Braj. Why? To discover Radhakund and Shamakund, which is secretly the highest nectar of love in Srimad Bhagavatam. You see the development of the Prem is going up and up and up and up and up, and then it comes the killing of the Aristasura. That means the manifestation of Shamakund and Radhakund. So that Leela, the midday pastimes there, that is higher than Rasa Leela. In other sampradayas also they worship Radha Krishna. They say Rasa Leela at night, this is the best. They don't know that Radha Krishna have Rasa Leela at midday in Radhakund. This secret was only hinted at in Srimad Bhagavatam, but Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he realized that, he tasted that, and he personally went all the way to Vrindavan to discover that place, to benefit all of us, so that we can go there and take shelter of Radhakund and aspire for Radha Krishna's eternal service in that place. So, Bhagavat Sravan Mathuravas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, by his own life and by his deep teaching, he revealed the beauty of Srimad Bhagavatam, the secrets of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the glories of Vrindavan. Sri Sachinandan Gauri Ki Jai.
Hari 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 Hari.